Always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Hello, Karen Reyburn. How the devil are you?
I'm very, very well. I am on a remote island with Wi-Fi. So what more do you need?
And this is it. So we were nearly late coming into the show then, weren't we? We were having a little preamble, because this is the thing, right? I think we all want to be able to work wherever we want to be able to work, and you are living the dream this week, aren't you?
Yeah. Yes, and ultimately it's my goal to live this dream permanently, but I believe you have to test it out in small little ways, just see if it works. So the Isle of Mull, which is where I'm at, a remote island off the west coast of Scotland, I usually come here to escape and to get away. And this week I thought I would try combining my life and work and resting and all of these things. And I'm in a flat that has streaming Wi-Fi and good phone service, and is also, did you want me to turn the camera around?
Please do. Please do.
Okay. So this is the whiskey clock. Everything's very whiskey orientated here. And there's the sea. That's the Tobermory Harbor. There's the little postie van delivering boxes of shortbread and biscuits and all kinds of good island things all over the island. So, and I literally was up the road at a little cafe having the best scones in my life, working on my book. And then I came back here to chat to you. So
a book.
Yes.
A book. Oh, is that an exclusive?
It's called The Accountant Marketer. I am on manuscript version 3 because I have too many words.
Right.
So
okay.
I have no trouble writing, love writing. The book now has 130,000 words, and my editors have asked me kindly to cut out 30,000 of them. So that is what I am working on doing. I gave a chapter to 13. There's 13 chapters. I gave a chapter to different accountants that I know and trust and love, and are the kind of accountants that I would want to read the book. And they've all given me wonderful feedback and observations about what I could cut out. And best of all, most of them said, listen, you could cut it out, but can we please have the director's cut of the whole 130,000? So we're going to have that too once the book comes out.
Good for you. Good for you. That's fantastic. So I haven't even introduced you. So Karen Reyburn, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a qualified accountant in the States. I do have an American accent, but I've lived in Scotland for 20 years. So this is my home. This is what I love. America is a place where my family is, but other than that, it's been so long since I lived there. It doesn't even feel like home in that sense. Just couldn't get rid of the accent. And so I'm a qualified accountant. I've worked in an accountancy firm, worked with accountants for nearly 20 years. And the last 10 years, I've been running PF, which is a creative agency exclusively for accountants and bookkeepers. And I set that up so that I and we could help accountants to actually get marketing done, not just talk about what they need to do, but to actually get the blogs written, get the videos out, get the social posts put together and done well. So that's a little, I suppose, career-wise. I'm a dual British American citizen. I have a home on the mainland and would love to have a home on the island as well. And I love magic, coffee, Harry Potter, writing, reading, anything creative, although I do believe everybody's creative, and whiskey as well.
I was just going to mention the whiskey,
Yeah.
and just for the record, if you're a whiskey enthusiast, you're not an alcoholic, you absolutely love it. And
you're a connoisseur. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I said to you, wasn't it? Right at the top. Do you know a guy called John Espirian?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Look at that. Lovely to
there
see
he
you.
Is. I remember John well. That was a phrase he came up with, and I was sketchnoting. That's one of the creative elements that I have, is doing sketch notes of talks. And that was a phrase John used, was relentlessly helpful, which actually matches one of the things we're always telling accountants or anyone in marketing, is to take the words that you use and the words that your clients use and use those instead of trying to sound professional, because that just ends up being boring and sounding like everyone else.
Yeah, no, and like, just for the record, he is exactly what he says on the tin, relentlessly helpful. So great to have you here, John. So no, cool. It's just great to see you again, Karen. It's been a long, long time, and we have actually worked together in a previous life as well.
Yeah.
So that was great. So you've already answered some of my questions. So you've been working with Accountants Bookkeepers for 10 years. What challenges are these guys having at the moment?
Yeah, it's a good question. I was thinking about that, about challenges, and not to diminish that there are challenges, but it feels to me, especially in the last year or so, that the opportunities are so massive for accountants right now when they use the opportunities well. Like, there's so many challenges that their clients are facing, and if you take on the worries and fears of your clients, then yeah, that could make running your business or marketing quite difficult. But actually, the opportunities that the clients have become an opportunity for the accountant to help them with it, to navigate through it, to understand the numbers they're looking at and make good decisions from it, which in a sense hasn't changed since the beginning of accountant time. But especially now, because people are so aware of how quickly things can change. And the thing that I've seen that the accountants are rising to challenge-wise is being more present in their own marketing. And the challenge with that becomes, how do you make time for all the things? So you're an accountant, you also are a marketer, you also are a leader, you also are all the things that you are. And so I think marketing wise, especially, the challenge always, and especially now for the accountants, is what do I spend my time on? And what's the best use of my time, marketing wise or otherwise?
Yeah, and that, I think that's they just go back to what they normally, the normal default, which is a set of accounts and a tax return. And so how do you help accountants with that time challenge then, Karen?
Yeah, I mean, first we recognize everyone has the same amount of time. Everyone has 24 hours in the day. The quote about everyone has, whether Michelangelo, Mother Teresa, you, me, everyone had or has the same amount of time. And we imagine that if we had more time, we would, whatever it is, write the book, start the new business, close the business,
Learn
whatever
to play guitar.
Yeah, play guitar, learn more about whiskey, whatever it be. And if anything, I feel like the whole pandemic and lockdown showed us that time itself doesn't solve the problem. You need time and space and mental energy and the room for creativity. And then that comes back to the whole mindset and understanding about what marketing is, what your responsibility is in marketing. So a lot of what we do with accountants is helping them to understand their responsibility in marketing, their involvement in marketing, their team's involvement in marketing, and that ultimately marketing is being the most accurate reflection of who the firm actually is. And if there's any conflict, if the firm is trying to present itself to be something it's not, or people that it's not, that's the prospects are going to feel that, and marketing is going to be hard. If it reflects it accurately but not clearly, so there's lots of information that's confusing, that can be difficult. So a lot of what we do is helping accountants to understand their role in marketing and the structure and the sort of principles that they need to understand and be working on, and to simplify it down to the things that are best that they spend their time on, which may be different from what another accountant spends their time on.
Yeah, no, fair point. So, all right, I'm an accountant. I need some marketing. Where do I start?
Oh, the big question. That is the big question. One of the great benefits of having served accountants exclusively for 10 years is that now there is a place for accountants and bookkeepers to start, and that is with the 12 elements of content marketing. So that, and they go in order. I just so happened to have created a coaching group on it and written the book on it. The book that I've written that's coming out is on these principles, because after all these years of working with accountants in marketing, every question about, do I do a blog post? Do I do a video? Which social media do I use? Whatever question always ends up coming back to, well, who's it for? What are the issues that they're facing? What is the core issue or problem that's the biggest problem? Who are you? What is your brand? What are you representing? And going through those things in order helps the accountant feel more confident that they're not just randomly trying things, but it's a structure that's based on who it is that they're serving. And that ends up being right at the very heart of it is, who is this even for? Who's the blog post for? Who's the social media for? Who's the video for? Who exactly is it for? Not necessarily an industry or niche, but like, what kind of a person? And the more specific you are, the more your good marketing divides and does the job for you and sends away the people you don't want and brings in the ones you do. So that's where I would say always start with your audience. Who exactly are they? Who are you talking to? Why are you talking to them? What is it? What message do they need? And what do you want them to do?
So one of the things that I talk to accountants about is niching and that sort of thing. Is that something that you'll spend a bit of time with if you work with somebody?
Yeah, interestingly, when I set up, these 12 elements, the first one, I used to call it niche. And that became confusing because people are like, oh, so you're saying I have to have an industry. You're saying I have to pick dentists or creative agencies. And we kept saying, well, no, not necessarily. That's maybe one of the easiest and fastest and most efficient ways. If you only work with dentists and somebody's not a dentist, that makes it easy for them. But you dig deeper in that, or maybe you don't have an industry. Maybe you have a certain kind of person, or one of our clients works with families, like family-owned, not even family-owned businesses, but people who have families and run businesses, and the challenges that they face, whether their family is 5 children, 1 child, 6 dogs, whatever their family is, they've got this, oh no, I need to be with my family. Oh, I need to be working on my business. And they have those guilt and fear feelings. And so they say, listen, we get that because we're like that. And so here's how we help you as accountants. So it's, a lot of it is helping the accountants to understand who exactly their audience is, and then having messages that appeal to that person and only that person.
Okay, cool. So I've been working with accountants for 15 years now, and most of them, and I hope they don't take offense to this, but have a blue or a grey sort of website. But things are changing, and what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'd say a lot less lately. I think a lot of accountants are realizing, hey, it doesn't have to be blue and gray. Historically, that was the case because the colors were associated with confidence and traditional and solidity and more conservative and other people's image of what an accountant is. And the reason that's beginning to change is because the accountants are going, well, actually, I want people to see us for who we actually are. So if we serve YouTube influencers and TikTok influencers and gamers, then blue and gray and suits is just not going to, plus we don't do that anyway. We show up in t-shirt and jeans, and we have a firm in the States, either States or Canada, who specifically say we're going to, show up in flip-flops and jeans. That's our style.
Yo.
Yeah. So if somebody doesn't like that and doesn't want that, that marketing will divide. It will divide them away and send them away. But for those who are worried that they're coming to an accountant in a very posh, formal, conservative offices and everybody's wearing suits, they don't have to worry. They don't have to fear. They can feel comfortable before they even meet them. So we're seeing a lot, at least for the accountants we work with, who want to reflect who they truly are. For them, that may be lots of colors. It may be yellow, it may be purple, it may be orange, it may be blue and gray, but a certain kind of blue and a certain kind of gray. And it goes way deeper than just nameofaccountants.com. It's that whole concept of the brand, like, who are you? Who do you serve? What are your values? What do you care about? And then colors merely become a indicator and a subconscious reflection of that. You know, the colors we chose at PF, we chose yellow for creativity and thinking differently and having positivity and all of these things. And then we also picked what we call PF green, which is sort of a teal. So it's got some blue and some green and some gray in it. And, you know, so we put a lot of conscious thought into that. And that's what we encourage our accountants to do.
So you'll do all of the branding and the coloring and things like that as well. It's not just writing blogs, as you know.
Yeah, so
that's all the marketing we do, isn't it, in our practice?
Well, we have a whole structure called the marketing map, which we created because when we looked back at the accountants we've worked with for the last 10 years or so, and we saw, or even ones we hadn't worked with, who had success in marketing, success being defined by their marketing bringing them a drip feed of the very kind of clients they most want to work with. And we saw the patterns of what those accountants did. And then the ones who were struggling and who weren't getting those kinds of results and the things that they didn't do. So we put together the marketing map and said, you start by understanding these 12 elements. Then you look at your goals and your brand and your website and your plan. And then you do the consistent marketing. So we do a lot of branding projects, a lot of website projects, because that's sort of the hub from which all of the blog posts and the social posts and the whatever other marketing they do consistently on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, that flows from there.
Perfect. What's your top tip that accountants and bookkeepers can do right now?
The number one thing I would encourage accountants and bookkeepers to do would be to be personally involved in your own marketing. And if you're not doing any of that, pick one area, like pick a social platform that you try that appeals to the kind of clients you want to work with, and you post videos on it. So, or posts or content or whatever it be. So we have a firm up in the Scottish Highlands who started using Instagram Reels and stories to just build awareness, and got so many people connecting with her in that community because she was doing it. So for her, that worked really well because they're like, oh, we know her, or we don't, but look, this is where she lives, and okay, I know that area. So whether it's social media, whether it's recording videos, whether it's writing blog posts, being personally involved in your own marketing is something that can feel hard to do. And it's tempting to want to abdicate it, even to someone like PF. Okay, can you guys just take the marketing for us? And we're like, not really, because if we just try to create general marketing, it's not going to sound like you. It's not going to reflect you. So any notes that you can take, comments or copy and paste from emails you've sent to clients, or bullet points, or anything that helps us to take what's in your head and turn that into something that's then designed and put on your website or whatever it be. So I suppose if I had to simplify it to something very practical, it would be to make a list of the questions that you get asked over and over by clients or prospects or both, and start documenting little notes. I mean, like if you're not ready to write a blog post, write down 3 bullet points of the answer to how come your fees are so expensive. I don't know how accountancy firms price things. Do I need a limited company? Whatever the question is, make a few little notes of what you would say. It's the single best thing you could do, because then when somebody like us comes to help, that's what we're going to ask anyway. And then your marketing reflects you.
No, I love that. And this is what I do with my LinkedIn training. I get people to be themselves.
Yeah.
Because people come to me and go, oh, with LinkedIn, I've got to do this and I've got to do that. No, you don't have to. You just need to be you, because people buy from people who they know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
And if I abdicate everything that I do, then it ain't going to be me that they know, like, and trust. It's whoever's writing that stuff.
Or worse, they'll connect with an imagined view of you that isn't real.
Yeah, when they see me, they're in for a shock.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, anyone who follows me, particularly on Instagram, that's my favorite place with all the stories. You know, everybody knows that I love Mull and I love coffee and I love whiskey and I love walking. They just know that because they see that. it's the same sort of principle for your accountancy firm marketing. And really the human element is so important, especially these days. People realize that they can have an accountant who isn't somebody stiff and removed, but somebody who they can hang out with and chat to and phone up or text and be like, hey, I've got this problem or this opportunity. How do we approach it?
No, perfect. Absolutely perfect. So do you have a best story of how you've helped an accountant or a bookkeeper that you can share with us?
Yeah, I think that's a really tough question. And I think it's because I admire and honor so many accountants that we work with. It would be hard to pick one and say
So
this one
who's your
accountant.
favorite child?
Yeah, exactly. But actually, I think my favorite, the best thing that happens to me as the owner of PF is when one of the team either shares in Slack or even it's shared publicly and says, oh, hey, here's a new brand or a homepage or something that we've created, maybe a video reel. And I realized that I haven't been in the meeting with the client. I haven't, maybe I've chatted to them, maybe they've been an accelerator, but I haven't been in the process at all. And the results that the collaborative team, the content writers, the designers, the website builders, the strategists, the client relationship managers, that they've all worked together to produce something that is truly reflective of this amazing accountant and is beautiful and good and strong and gives the right impression. I think that for me is one of the best stories, because I used to be the one who was in all the client meetings, and now we have a team of going on 16 people. I have 13, and we're hiring a few more. And
Wow.
This collaborative approach to marketing delivers incredible, beautiful, true marketing. So for me, I feel like that's such a big win for me personally, because the team are doing it collectively, but because it's not about what I do or even about what one person does. It's about listening to the accountant and then reflecting that in the best possible way, so that the accountant's clients are like, yes, that is who you are. We know that, we believe that, we're excited about that. And then it draws in more of the kind of clients that they want.
No, love it. That's absolutely superb. So how can people get hold of you?
Best way to sort of get in touch with PF is just to go to wearepf.com. There's a start now button, and there's a whole diagnostic you can fill in if you're an accountant. If you're just somebody who wants to sort of stay connected with me personally or with PF, then my personal social is Instagram. That's where just about everything in my life is. Same thing for PF. And then we're on all the socials. So follow on your favorite social to stay connected with me or with the company. And then if you want to actually start looking at, where could I begin, then wearepf.com and go to the Start Now button.
Perfect. I've got one more question for you. I just want to go to commercial break to show next week I've got Kim Searle sitting in your seat, and she's a personal transformational specialist. But before then, on Tuesday next week, I'm getting to talk to Sam White. So she's the CEO of Stellar Assurance and Insurance, and doing all kinds of amazing things. So I'm really excited about meeting her as well. So in fact, I've just thought of another question that wasn't on the script. So the question that is on the script is, if when you're at primary school, what did you want to do when you left school?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, and half of me didn't know. Half of me was like, I don't know. The other half, and I don't think I've ever really told many people about this, is I wanted to be somebody really famous. Like I wanted to be like an actor, an actress, or someone that a celebrity. And what's really exciting to me now is I'm like, gosh, I do not want that. Like, it's nice to be known in your own little circle. Those who are accountants may be familiar with me or PF. But I'm like, I like being able to go places and just sit quietly in a corner and work on my book or read a book or go for a walk for hours and just be myself and not be somebody that everyone knows. So sort of glad that didn't work out.
No, that's a great question. But funny you should say that, because at places like Accountex and where all our accountant and bookkeeping friends hang out, you are famous.
Well, and this is have you ever read Mark Schaefer's book Known?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's about personal branding and being known in your arena, whatever it is. So it might be really small. And I remember reading that and being so encouraged to be like, really, all you need to be is known in the particular circle that you're in. So like you said, I go to Accountants, I go to XeroCon, there's loads of people I know, and that's lovely. But for us at PF, it's more about PF being known for who we are and how we help accountants. And again, for that same thing, that it's lovely for me to be known, but it's not about me. It's about how we can help accountants with something that is hard. And I said to someone recently, I would like to help every accountant in the world. That doesn't mean that every accountant will be one of our clients. We're actually very particular about the kind of accountants we work with. But that's why I've written the book. That's why we give away so much free content, because if someone is helped by listening to this or reading a blog post or seeing something, that's it. That's all I would like to do, is be able to help all the accountants in whatever way. And then if they need or want more help and it is a fit, great. But that's a smaller percentage.
No, I love that. That's a great sentiment. All right, my last question then. Favorite whiskey?
Well, I mean, since I'm standing on the Isle of Mull right now, I couldn't hear. I'll just visual aid here. So these are the two whiskeys. Turn them around. From the distillery, which is like right there, right behind me right now. And what's fascinating about this distillery is it's one of the few, I think, if not the only, that makes peated and non-peated whiskey. So the smoky kind of sense. And most distilleries make one or the other. And I love this one because it makes both, and I love them both.
Oh, fantastic. Great answer. Hey, Karen, it's been an absolutely delight to catch up. Lovely to hear you talking about marketing. And it's very important for our accountants and bookkeepers. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing. And hopefully bump into you at the next at the next show.
Yes,
but
and we will both
enjoy your time. Enjoy your time on Mull. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Ashley. Bye.
Cheerio now. Bye bye.